So I'm going to assess where is he okay and where does he start to not be so okay. So I do have a hold of his halter on this side just so he can't rip his head away from me, and so he also can't just rip his head right into me either. So you want to have a hold of him. So he gets a little worried when I get up top here. So I'm just going to rub a little bit. Right there. So I go to put my hand over the top and he said no. That's a no. Okay. So, like I said, I'm not sure why this ear is better than that one. And it really came out of the blue because when he first got here, I had no problems with the putting the halter on and stuff like that. I still don't have any problems with that. But I was able to bridle him very easily for the first several bridlings, and then all of a sudden, I went to go put it on just like I normally do, and he freaked out. So, I addressed it that day, like I am today, and he did very well, and he got over it, and we've been riding no problems. He's had a few days off, and he's back to what he was doing that day that he freaked out on me. So right there he tried to pull his head away from me. I'm going to let him just realize that I'm not hurting him here, and I'm going to take my hand away. I'm going to use a little, kind of like pressure and release, kind of not. So there he didn't take his head away from me. I do want to keep a hand on him so that he doesn't push his head into me or anything like that. I can just have a better handle on him since I'm working with his head so closely and he's wanting to fling it around. So that other ear is fine. I don't know if he got stung by a bee one day or if he hit his head on that same day that I went to go bridle him. Who knows? But something's bothering him and I want to help him through it. So notice that I'm stopping come up here a bit. There we go. I'm stopping when he says, oh no. I want him to know that I'm listening to him. I want him to know that I can read his, I can hear what he's saying, and I want him to know that I'm listening and I'm willing to work through this with him. I'm not just going to force him through it. I'm not going to just pin his head down and make him get over it, or I'm not going to undo the headstall and put it on like I would a halter, because that's just putting a band-aid on it too. I want to address this. I want to help him through this. Whatever it's caused by, doesn't matter. The problem is here and we need to fix it. Good. So right up here he kind of said, So I'm just going to rest my hand here, maybe pet his forelock a little bit. I'd love for him to relax a bit more when I'm still up here. Good boy. I like that he brought his head down for me there. That was nice. Good boy. Now this is him kind of saying, kind of feels good, kind of don't touch. That's another reason why I'm keeping my hand on his head halter here, because he could easily swing his head into me, and I really don't want him to do that because it hurts. That's a good boy. Might have found a bit of a sweet spot here. So I'm moving his ear. I'm not really going for his ear, but I'm touching it, and I'm moving it. Good boy. So that counts. That counts as progress. He's got so much mane. I'll go back up here. So there I went to go do that, and he got a little more tense again. There's a good boy. I want you to know that I'm listening to you, okay, bud? I'm trying to get your hair out of the way. So I'm going to let my hand just kind of touch the outside of it while I'm rubbing him. And these are his okay spots. He's okay up here. If your horse is not okay with these spots yet, don't go for those spots. If you have to start down here, start down here. Or start around the eye, or wherever, and then work your way closer to the big problem areas, okay? Just do a little bit of, gonna come up here, it's not so bad. Gonna come around here, not so bad. Gonna come all the way up and around. Let my arm touch it a little. There we go. I'm not grabbing it yet. There he brought his head into my hand there. So I'm gonna keep my hand there. Because I was just going for this spot and he kind of brushed it with his ear and he thought I was grabbing his ear. Good boy. I mean, if he's got a painful spot in there, I want to be able to look at it. But first he's got to be able to trust me with it. Good boy. Good job, buddy. So we backtracked a little bit there. I'm still listening to you, okay? I'm still listening. Good boy. He's holding a lot of tension right here. I'd love for him to offer me a little bit of relaxation here, but I don't know if he will. Alright, I'm going to work with him a little. I'm going to turn the camera off for just a little bit. Because he's just going to be going through this for the next 15-20 minutes, so I'll turn it back on when we get to something a little more interesting. So I'm getting to the point now where I can put my arm up around his ear like this, and I'm getting a little bit more relaxation, see? And I'll take it away when he offers to drop his head now. I'm not pushing on his head. Just the pressure of my hand being there is enough. And when he offers a little bit of a drop, I'll take my hand away and say, good boy, I saw that, I like that. Good boy. And I'm purposely putting my arm just on the outside of his ear here. I'd like him to sit, relax just there's a good boy. I'd like for him to just drop his head straight down. I don't really want him to twist his head as much, but and that's what I told him right there. I said, I'm just going to keep my hand here until you stop twisting, because I'd like you to just drop nice and relaxed. Good boy. Good job. So there I brought my arm up over his ear for the first time. Puts his head nice and down. Brought my hand over the top. If he pulls his head away from that, I want to bring it right back and wait. Right there I was able to stop with my hand on top of his ear, and he thought about it rather than reacting. So I rewarded that. And like I said, this kind of just came out of the blue. I don't know where this came from. Because he was super easy to bridle for the first several rides. And then all of a sudden, bam. Good boy. So that is still extreme, but it's getting better. There's more lick and chew. I'm going to offer something. I want to make this as pleasant as I possibly can for him. I want to get him over this quickly, if we can, because it's interfering with the rest of his training. Good boy. And I'm not going to grab his ear. I'm not even close to grabbing his ear. All I'm trying to do, okay, that didn't work. All I'm trying to do is rest my hand on the outside of his ear. And when he allows me to do that, like that, good boy, I'll offer him a treat. I'm not normally a big treat person in my training program, but I want him to be okay with this, and I want him to associate this with something very positive. Because whatever caused it is causing a pretty extreme reaction. There's a good boy. There you go, buddy. See the wrinkles in his nose and the look in his eye. He's still very tense about this, but that was good. Good boy. And this will probably take a few days to get him over it completely. So I start up here where he's already been rewarded for just relaxing his head, and he's okay with me up here. And then I just pick up my hand a little bit. And this is why I hold on to the halter too. And I continue. I'm going to continue until he realizes this is not painful. This is not bad. Good boy. Right like that. He's a little frozen right now. I'm going to see if I can get him to breathe, because he's holding his breath. That's better. Good boy. He's allowing me to touch it, and he hasn't fought back yet, but he's also a little frozen right now. So I'm trying to wait and see what he decides to do. He's thinking. There's a good boy. There. Look at that. You're all right. I'm just going to rest my hand here. I want to see what he does. He's blinking a little bit more. There's better. That's better. There, he moved his ear underneath my hand. Good boy. Then I'll take it away. He made the right decision. He thought about it, and he did a good job. So we're at the point now where he's still uncomfortable, and if I approach this wrong, he'll still rip away, and we'll have to backtrack a little bit in our training. But he's now at the point where he'll let me rub his ear without too much of a reaction. So now we'll go ahead and offer him the snack while my hand is still here. And I'll take it away like that now. Like I said, this is a horse that's been bridled. He's been getting ridden, so I'm going to chalk this up to a bee sting or something. I don't know, but it needs to be addressed. Good boy. See all the tension he's holding right now, though? That's better. I want you to take note as I'm doing this. I started off with offering the treat and taking my hand away at the same time. Now, I'm giving him the snack while my hand is still up here. And he's making the right decision to not fight me and to think about things instead. Good boy. And then I'll take my hand away and give him a little break. And then I'll come back up. Again, not grabbing. I haven't folded his ear. I haven't pinched his ear. I haven't even closed my hand around his ear. This is all I've gotten to so far. I should mention that I could bridle him and I could ride him and stuff. I wouldn't call him he was exceptional about his ears, though. He allowed me to do that. I'm not going to say he was okay with it, but I mean, he could have probably been a little bit better about it, but normally they go forward rather than backwards like this, so. Good boy. Very good.